These days, it seems like nobody has a clue of what this world's going to even look like in 5 years. So, signing up for a 30-year mortgage sounds like an actual bad idea.
Here's a listing of one of the most normie houses I could find in my area at about $479,000. This means at a 6% interest rate, you'll pay an additional $443,000 to the bank over the course of a 30-year loan. That means for this little red house, you're going to pay a total of $922K.
In my opinion, the most underrated market for property right now on the planet is in Japan. I build houses for a living and I'm obsessed with Japanese carpentry. If I were you, I wouldn't take financial advice from a guy sitting on a bucket.
But a house in Japan is a seemingly irresistible price point if you're looking to escape the rat race in the US.
Now, this ring right here is going to be Tokyo. For the sake of this video, we're only going to be checking properties between the airport and Tokyo and the general area. Why do I think that's a good idea? Well, if you're planning on doing a DIY project and buying a house in Japan, trying to fix it up and turn that into a safety net for yourself, I think we should start with the lowest friction, which would be areas close to the airport, areas close to the city. So for this video, we're just going to check out some in that range and we'll see what we're looking at. All right, up first, 10,000 bucks. Let's see what we got here. Man, the outside looks rough, I'm not going to lie. There's your front door. Neighbors are pretty close. You're going to get that. With these properties under 20K, definitely going to be some clean out involved. Most of the time, the previous owners leave their stuff behind. There's some hidden costs in that. Waste removal in Japan is pretty expensive. You could probably expect to spend even like $5,000 just getting rid of junk if you buy a place that's, filled with the previous owner's belongings. Look at that. We got a beautiful live beam, post and beam house. Very classic Japanese. Love to see it. Missing a toilet. Gonna need one of those. Outdoor slider. Bathroom sink, separated from the toilet. That's a shower room. Kitchen. You can tell this place is very small. That's going to be a tatami room, which is a bedroom for you. I would say that's like a 6-mat room. Most of the time they size the rooms on these Japanese homes based on how many tatami mats fit in the room. So you got a 6-mat room, you got an 8-mat room, you got a 12-mat room. There's the street right there, a little bit of a tight street. Not seeing any parking, but that could be the back. Pretty rough. Let's go to the next one. 12 grand. We're up a couple thousand, boys. Let's see what we got. Okay, we got custom engravings going into the living room. Unfinished floor, so right off the bat, you're going to be flooring the whole house. But, I mean, anything under 20 grand, you're going to be expecting to replace the floor, kitchens, bathrooms. So you're going to spend some money on some of these places. But, the DIY aspect of fixing up these places is only going to create value for yourself. You're getting the place for 10, 12 grand. So anything you put into it, that's value that's yours to keep. Rough looking kitchen, looks like a 70s kitchen. I mean, there's your toilet. You're certainly not flexing that bathroom on Instagram, that's for sure. Little showerlet room. I don't even know what you call that. Looks like there's a drain in the center of the floor there. All right, let's get away from that quickly before I scare you guys off. Here we go. We're into something real now. 38 grand. Look at that. That looks like the view from the balcony. Pretty normal street. You don't see any other dilapidated houses on the street. That's a good sign. Comes with a glass carport. I want to fix up this garden. That looks like a fun weekend. Two parking spaces. Pretty good for Japan. There's your front door. Looks almost new. Looks secure. Look at that front entryway. That's cute. You got your slippers ready to go. Honestly, this place doesn't even look like it needs floors or paint. So right off the rip, I mean, you're saving that initial investment and that work. A little bit of overgrown bushes in the front. We can do some landscaping, boys. We're not scared of that. There's the tatami room. That actually looks pretty chill. And that's the street view. All right, next up, 43 grand. We got Big Blue here. All right, Big Blue, let's see what you got. Probably the ugliest looking blue I've ever seen. There's your entryway. You've got a place to kick your shoes off, put your slippers on. Probably store some raincoats in there. Actually usable looking kitchen, to be honest. So that's a plus. Yeah, I mean, that looks clean. Looks like that stove works, is ready to roll. So a bathtub I'd actually take a bath in. All right, for a couple more grand, it looks like we're really stepping up our game here. I mean, that stuff looks almost new. Almost looks like they replaced it. A little bit of a dated toilet there. Sliding doors, lots of sliding doors in Japan. We got 22 photos to go through here. Look at that. Nice closets. I mean, you're gonna put paint on that. We got to do something with that color. That's rough, but it looks like you get 2 parking spots. Look, 7-Eleven near a Family Mart, floor layout, LDK. LDK in Japan on the prints, if you see LDK, that's living, dining, kitchen is what that stands for. So yeah, that's Big Blue. Now, just for comparison, I realize if you're doing this as like a, a low cost option, safety net to try to get a little bit of a sidestep on the US economy and build a life for yourself, you might not be looking at a place that costs 180 grand, but just for the sake of this video, so we can get a little comparison, see what 180K gets you, that's about half of the house that you're going to get in Mass, even if you buy it outright and don't have to pay the massive interest to the bank. This is what you're looking at here. I mean, this place looks nice already. Look at that. I would move right in here, boys. Sign me up for this place. This is cozy. I bought a property a little bit rural, about an hour drive from my wife's parents' house, and it was only grass. Now, the huge mistake that I made was not putting down the black weed blocker paper to stop the weeds from growing back, because I spent a good half a week one summer cutting down all the grass, loading it up in the truck, taking it to the burn center, and when I went back this year, it was completely overgrown, 6 feet tall with weeds. So yeah, this is my land that I bought a year and a half ago, and all this was clear. I built that shed, which you can see, you cannot see it. We got to get in here just to open the doors, which means I'm gonna have to flatten. I guess I'm gonna flatten all this. I don't know what kinds of sick bugs are in there. And there were Suzumebachi, did I say that right? Japanese killer hornets flying around my tool shed that I had put up, and they basically chased me out of town. They're fucking huge! They're fucking huge, bro. They're fucking huge. They're fucking huge, dude. So, if you're gonna buy some land without a house on it, highly recommend put down the weed block paper, put some cinder blocks on it so it doesn't blow away. That way the weeds don't come back. One thing I think is a good idea if you're gonna be buying a house that is not livable is to consider buying one of these pieces of land for a couple $1,000. I think I seen one on here, 3 grand. Okay, this is something similar to what I bought. That's what you get right on the corner there, a patch of dirt. So like, you buy a patch of land like that for $3,000, what can you do with it? You can park a truck on it. You can put a shed on it with tools so that you have a place to store any of the stuff you're going to be using to work on the place that you want to buy. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. At the end of the day, I think the properties between the $30,000 to $50,000 range are the best bang for your buck between how much work you're going to actually have to put into it and how much value that you're going to get out of it. Now, I mean, it seems like if you were to buy one of these places between the 30 and 50K price point, you put about 20 into it with your sweat equity, it's definitely worth over 100. And you own it outright, so you're not paying interest to the bank over the course of 30 years. If the world totally goes to shit, I would feel much safer in Japan between me and you. So, I mean, that's why I'm looking into some of this, besides the fact that I love Japanese carpentry and fixing up these type of buildings. So yeah, maybe we'll make another video, look at some more of these properties. Maybe we'll go to Japan and build one ourselves. We'll see. All right, boys. Peace.